All right, so I'm back, and this time we'll be looking at Farm Manager World. And the objective today is to highlight to you my method in gaining a lot of money in the early beginnings of running your farm. Um, right, so we just get right into it. So I just select scenario here, select diabolically hot. Right, so basically, it's not a quick and fast way, but it does work. It's a method that I've used numerous times, coming out of many failures. You start off with a certain amount of money, and then the urge to expand and to research and all of that sometimes dips into your budget, and then what you find happening is that you're always ending up in the red, and you have to be starting the game over and over and over and over again. So I'm just gonna, for those who are interested, I'm just gonna show you a simple way that I've done, right? So the first thing that I did was to upgrade. That's the first thing, and reason being, I'm gonna start off with livestock making milk, right? And what will happen is that by the time I'm doing like 4 livestocks or 5, you find that the milk is being produced, but it is not being carried to the place where the vendors can buy it through auto trade. And I'll explain that in a few. So I normally upgrade first, and then what I'll do is then go to market, go to auto trade, right? So because I'm going to be doing livestock, I'll be using sorghum as a feeding material. I want to achieve at least 90% quality in food material. I'll be choosing soy, protein base, um, and then I'll be choosing corn, right, as one of the main food source, right? So, and then I'm just going to be adding milk because that's the product that I'll be selling initially. So I'll click the green button here and I'll select 0. So anything above 0, the vendors will come through and auto trade with us, right? So we get cash, they get the product. So that is set, right? I like to have my farm organized, so I like to do things in blocks, um, so I don't get confused in the latter part of the game, right? Now, normally we're at 149. We have spent $50,000 already. I've left 149. Normally, I don't try to dip below $50,000, and I'll explain as we go along. So, what I'll do, I'll assign staff, but I'm going to have to build a house, right, which is going to cost 30,000, right? So we have that right there, and then we'll start off by building um, a small cow shed. So normally I aim for 12, right? I'm going to start off with 2, right? I'm going to start off with 2. I'm going to build along with manure storage because the animals do release feces that needs to be stored. This can be used later on in your crop production as fertilizer. And then I'll be adding a silo, right? Good. So let's speed this up a bit, right? So we're at 93,000 here, right? In the meantime, let's assign staff. We can only assign 3. So because the farmer's owner house is going to be his shipping skill mean moving goods. They are responsible for moving goods. So we look for this box here. We hire 1. Um, let's see if we can find the next one again. It's critical if you can get those with the box. Right, good. Right. So what happens is that the more of those persons you have, the faster your milk product will move, right? And let's get this right here. Right, the faster your milk product will move. So we have 86 now. So let's go to let's assign staff again. For the animal section, you want to use this icon here, these here. Let's select one more, right? And then we're gonna buy cows. We're gonna buy the mature cow here. It's gonna cost about 10 grand. Um, and then remember we had selected the soy, corn, and sorghum to give us 90% food quality, right? We come here again. We're gonna assign staff by um, yeah, and that's it. We select the food quality here. Yeah, and that's it, right? So we're at 65. We're going to allow it, give it some time to build to get out of the red. So this game is not a rushy game. It's not a game that you just get up and just build, 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 build. It's very easy for you to lose money in this game. In real life, farming is a very um, today you're up, tomorrow you're down, depending on what is happening. All right, so sometimes you'll get this in the early part. You can select where say no resource corn and just press fix, and eventually that goes away. Um, right? Yeah. So let's. So we're gonna let this build for a bit. Um, all right. So we're gonna let this build for a bit. We're gonna let it build for a bit, right? And then we come back to the next phase. All right. All right. So we are in the green. We're making a steady profit. This is just from 2 cow sheds so far, right? So making a steady profit. We're just gonna put the milk icon up here so we can track what's happening. So all of this area, I'm going to be filling out with the cow shed, roughly about 12, and then we're going to move to the chicken food. But the cow shed area tends to rake in a nice lucrative profit, as you can see on your screen there. Now, remember earlier I talked about these persons moving the goods from the farm to the warehouse to where it's supposed to be auto traded. One of the things to improve that is by going into training manager, going into logistics. Now, usually you're gonna focus on these 3 here. You're gonna need all 3 as the game progress. Now, this one I want you to note here that says increase carrying capacity of owners, house workers to 400 kg, right? So what it means is that each of these workers here will have the ability to carry double what they usually would have carried. So what that means is that more efficiency in your products moving from point A to point B. So I have money here going. So what I want is just to start that research, just get it underway. When this research is completed, it will free up this slot here. But for now, we're not going to put any workers here for now. The tree is okay so far, not until we're about 12 cow sheds in. So we're going to build 2 more cow sheds. Well, 1, and I'm going to tell you why. Right. Let's put it that right there. So it costs $10,000 to build 1. Then on top of it, you're going to have to spend another $10,000 to get the cows, which will drop it to 40, and then to get staffing, and then the materials. So, as I said before, this is not a rush game. It's something that you have to be patient about. You have to be patient about when playing, else you'll find that you're always in the red. Alright, so let's select here and here. Alright, so normally, as I said before, I try not to drop below 50 too far. I always have an estimated area that I want to be at, right? Right, we can take a risk, yes, we can take a risk and put a next cow shed and then wait for it to go back into the green. Let's do that and see how it works out for us. All right, let's put this one out of the way. All right, so we are spending, so in total we're going to be spending roughly about 20, so we got to 40 here. All right. All right, by the way, we set this to monthly right here. All right, monthly instead of weekly or daily. So, all right, so let's get some worker in. We look for this sign, animal sign, select it. We're gonna buy the animals here, right? Select the crops that they're gonna feed on, right? Yeah, and so we're just gonna give it some time for those profits to roll in. So we're going 4. We're just going to create a next part here. As I said before, I like to block out my area, right? So we just allow this to build for a time and then we get back to it again. All right, so we're back again. All right, so you can see we are at 81,000 and income coming in nicely, right? And just with 4 cow sheds. Right, as I said before, we're aiming to get to this logistic here where each worker is carrying 2 times more the weight than what they usually carry before. But this needs 10 employees. We've gone 7 so far. I've already built an additional permanent house. So we're gonna just build 2 more because we have the cash to pay with 2 more cow sheds, right? And that should bring us to the 10, and then we can do the research, right? Okay. Right. All right, so now we're gonna do the usual. Get one of these. Let's get the next one here. All right, so that is. All right, so we are on our way. By the time you reach 12 cow sheds, you'll see an explosion in your income over time. Once you're exuding patience in the game. So while that is running, I want to show you a bit of a trick here. So let's say we go to the marketplace here and going to sell. Now you notice you see 2 milk box, one grayed out and one is more brightly lit. Now you want to have the gray area, the numbers lower than the brightly lit carton box. So look at it, 288, 177. Now this is supposed to keep going up and up, which indicates that the efficiency of moving the product from one point to the next is pretty good. Now when you start to see the numbers consistently coming close, or the numbers in the gray lit area becoming way higher than those in the lit area, it means that you need to upgrade the efficiency of your system in moving the goods. So this is going good so far. So once we achieve this logistic here, then we are well on our way in terms of more efficiency. Until we reach about 12 or 15 cow sheds, we need to switch to this logistic here, large scale logistics. And this is only when you start to see your production kind of wane. in terms of moving from point A to point B, right? But so far we're going good. We're just gonna allow this to build up back again. We have two cow sheds. When we come back, we're gonna be putting an additional two, and then we'll be doing some research as well. So one of the things is that once I'm having a good amount of money coming in, I start to focus on training, right? So here we'll do animal husbandry that says improves milk and egg production rate by 2%. So we can go ahead and just run that now. We can just run that right now. So it takes 10 days, and then we're supposed to see an uptick in the number of milk being produced from each cow shed. And more milk, more revenue once you can move them fast enough and efficient enough. Alright, so we've gone a tidy bit of sum of money, 127,000 here. We're just gonna go and drop in two more cow shed because we have the money to play with, right? Now, when I first discovered this method, I expanded significantly most of the ears, especially way over here with medium and large cow shed. But what happened, it put my milk into the negative zone. Now, the negative zone is where there's a decrease in demand for the product because you're flooding the market with so much of the product, so it becomes negative. And for me, it went up to about negative 72% in demand. So you want to keep a close eye on this, not to get your product over there, so so you don't suffer from a price drop, especially at critical times. All right, so we buy. All right, so we have money to play with, so we can put in additional two here again. Notice the milk building up right there. So as I said before, I normally just try to aim for about 12 of the houses before I start expanding. And I try to do my research. My research is from early out, because sometimes when you reach the middle of the game and doing research, you'd want those to have been done before so you can attend to other aspects of the game. All right, let's get these in. All right. All right, so we are on our way. So what we'll do is to allow this to come out the red for a bit. That's normally what I do. Once I'm in the red, I just allow the income to build up, and then I'll proceed to the next aspect. All right, so we're getting there, but I want to show you something. Notice our milk quantity has gone to about 8,000 liters, and I want to show you what's happening here. Look at this. The grayed out area is higher than the white area, which means that this product is not moving as efficiently as it should. All right, it is not moving as efficiently as it should. right? So because this white area here should be higher than this. So it means that the product is being made, yes, but it's not moving efficiently to turn over income, right? So, and reason being, we have put in a lot more sheds. That is why um, we want to hurry up and get to this here. So logistics. So this here is what we're going to be researching now, right? So each worker will be able to carry twice what they are usually carrying before. All right. All right. And then notice it's climbing. So once that has been researched, it's 4 days, and then we'll see what happens. All right. So we have completed the trainings. So let me show you what we have completed. Logistics. So we have completed all the trainings here. But you notice that we still have a lot of liters here. That means most of the product isn't being sold, and eventually the system is going to tell you that a quantity of your milk is going to be spoiled, which means that it's not moving efficiently. So what we're going to be doing is to go to logistics here and drop the logistic building. We're going to put it at the front page right here, right? Allow that to, it's 75,000, so you'll want your cash to build up a bit, right, to get that, because it's very expensive in the early onset of the game, right? Now once this is up and running, we should see a pickup in terms of this movement here, and that's what we want to watch for. So your logistics is very, very important in the early game, well, right through your game, because it determines how fast your money comes in. So in this case, we're looking for shipping skill, the box here. So we select one. Let's see if we can find the next one here. Good. All right, and so we're off. So they're out. Notice they're not walking anymore. Look at this. Look at the significant reduction in numbers coming right down. So we're just going to watch that for a while. It's dropped to 10. It was at 15, then to 10, to 12, then to 10. So we're seeing a significant drop coming down. So eventually it's going to level out as the products are sold, right? One of the things that we're going to do with the auto trade, we had 100 here, 100 here, and 100 here, but because we have put in more shed, we'll carry it up probably to just 500, just to cover what is there and the other cow sheds that we'll be putting in over time. All right, so we'll just keep it at that. Look at that number there. So we're having a lot of efficiency. Look at this here. Look at how fast the income, the account balance went up. So that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about here. You want to be more efficient. So once you're seeing that lag in any of your produce, then you just know that the movement of the goods is not efficient. So we're just going to go ahead and put in 2 more cow sheds. Right, we're going to put in 2 more cow sheds here and here, right? Yeah, and we should be good, right? All right, right, and so that's how you can get in the early game, early parts of the game, you can get your cash up and running. So let's plug that right there. All right, so let's get a sign by cows here. Here. Later on in the game, you can grow your own corn, sorghum, whatever, just to cut down the cost. We're gonna have to build another house. Let's see what's cash we have here. Okay, we can manage that. So you see, once you have that cash coming in, um, it's easy for you to begin to play around with the game mechanics. Normally, once I've built up the cowshed area, I'll and the cash is going up. What I'll do is to focus on a lot of research, training, to get out of the way. I'll unlock a veterinarian to check on the animals from time to time. The ultimate aim is to get this. You want to have end products, because let me tell you this: once you're producing a lot of milk, it's going to flood the market and create a glut, and then it's going to show a decrease in demand here, right? So you want to create end products from everything that you're doing, or most things that you're doing, right? As much as possible. So you can wait a while, build yourself up, then you can research, you can go to production, research dairy and meat industry, right? Get that going. It's gonna take it's gonna take to build this building. It's gonna cost over $340,000. So you really need to be building up. Usually I buy it when I'm around half a mil in, right? Half a mil in, and then unlock these here trading. I'll improve work on staff management coming right down, and then I'll look at building conservation, and as we go along, the option to get new land. So yeah, so we're just gonna let this run a bit, and then you'll see in the long run what it's like. So if so, you see where we're at. I filled out 3 more sheds here, right? We have our logistics center up and running. We can put an additional person here now if we want to. There's efficiency in the products being moving from point A to point B, resulting in sales with an increase in income. However, this is what I'm talking about. Look here, where you're seeing the decrease in demand, we now have 15% decrease in demand, and it's because we are consistently producing milk. We're consistently producing milk in such a quantity that it's causing a glut on the market, which gradually is going to reduce the demand. So we don't want it to go any further than this. So even if I want to make more sheds, it's going to push this up to a high percentage of decrease in the demand. So I'm good here. One of the key things though, you want to diversify your portfolio of income, right? So this is good. This is the early start of the game. This is good. This is excellent. You have enough cash to freelance, to do some crops, greenhouse crops, you name it. One of the things that I like to do though, there is this fruit tree. I'm gonna show you. Let me do it right here. I'm just gonna show you something. So I like to set crops for long term. So I'm gonna set this here, right? Now there are 2 perennial crops that I like. Avocado. Notice it gives you estimated yield of $500,000+. It takes a while to come to harvest, but once it does, trust me, it's a much needed income. And then mango is the next one right here, which is extremely good as well, right? So it's up to you. I like to do at least 2 or 3 perennial crops and just leave them, and then focus on something else while they're coming in. But it's up to you what you want to do. The sky is the limit, depending on what you want to accomplish in a short period of time. Or just to turn over funds, you can do something like a calabash, or that has a shorter time period, 70 days. That's a roughly around 2.5 months there. Um, yeah. You have gooseberry, which is also good, $18,000. You have grapefruit. It's up to you what you want to do in the interim. All right. So I hope this video helps. I hope this video helps those that are struggling and will eventually make a large income as what you're seeing here. All right.